Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Superfantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm here in Planetbase, the outer space building and economy simulation game where you land on different worlds and try to build viable colonies. And this is part of my achievement series as I'm trying to get the final achievement, the Hyper Challenger, to complete all the built-in challenges. So I've got every other challenge except this one. So the next one I'm going for is the Dark Moon, where I'll land on a planet that is far away and try to encourage 300 suckers, valued colonists, to come to my planet and set up shop. And it's out of reach of all the major trading routes, so I'm not going to have the benefit of any trading ships or probably any visitors. It's basically just getting people there to get to work. So let's see. Okay, there's no atmosphere, which means we're not going to be able to use wind turbines. So it's all about solar power and being able to capture things in the collectors. The nights are long, the days are short. Electricity is survival. So the very first thing we want to do is recycle the ship so that it's not an impediment to get things in and out, and set up solar collectors and power collectors very quickly. All right, so this is a one-way trip anyways, so let's get that collector up there. Everything else is secondary to getting power, because once night comes, if we run out of power, that's death. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and invest in 2 of these, so we've got to have them. Oh, wonderful! Meteorites. So they'll each have their own independent connection to the solar collector. Okay, power is online. Now we have to have a place to be able to capture that power while there's any daylight left. This way, whatever power we get, we should be able to hold on to, I hope. And here, let's see. Since we know we are going to have lots of colonists, I'll go ahead and go for the big oxygen generator. Oh, and we're going to need a water extractor. Go ahead and put that over here. I'm curious to see whether we can fill this power collector up. No, I guess not. Not before the sun goes down. So we can see the power collector start to drop, or I mean the solar collector drop as the sun goes below the horizon, the amount of power it generates will shrink to 0. Let's give these things, these guys more stuff to do. Come on. I guess we have only the one engineer to do everything. It's still generating a little power. Every little bit counts. There we go. All right, so normally an oxygen generator would be considered a hub, but oh boy, meteorites are saying hello. They're like, hey Joe, welcome to the neighborhood. It's like, yeah, I sure do appreciate that. Always good to feel welcome. Here, we'll put an airlock here. Well, actually, you know what? Take that back. Well, you know what? Maybe, yeah, you know what? We'll connect the airlock directly to it. I want to be able to use this canteen as a hub so I can connect more things to it. Of course, that means that I'll have to shim down this this stuff here in order to make some room, but it's doable. Now, we're starting to need oxygen. Let's prioritize putting up the airlock first. That way everybody can get inside and get some O2. Uh-oh. Did I do my building in the wrong order? The engineer is not going to go to the airlock first. Come on, go to the airlock. Oh my gosh, guys, why? While the engineer was working, they could have taken that metal over there instead of just sitting there. Now, how long will it take before everyone decides to actually walk over to the airlock? Because it'll take a moment to fill up with air, and they won't want to get in it until it has, well, okay, there, the oxygen came nice and quick. The robot jumps in first. Need to get the people in first. Okay. I guess the engineer had the most oxygen. He doesn't have an O2 indicator yet, which is good. All right, get in there. How are you doing? Well, everybody's in. Just curious, it seemed like he had more oxygen than everybody else. Which is fine, because his job was really important. Here, we'll go ahead and we'll commit a couple here. And I know that we're going to need some water, so put up a little fountain, put up a little entertainment. We have to put up a dorm first, unfortunately. I don't want to, but because the dorm is not nearly as good as having a cabin. So we'll put up a small dorm in order to meet the requirement, and that will unlock the cabin, and then we can recycle the dorm afterwards. Well, of course, as long as they're... I won't be able to make any more cabins unless I have a dorm, so no, I guess the dorm would have to be permanent. Okay, let's see what we have for... we have one carry bot and one construction bot. Oh no, wait a minute. No, that's no, we just have one carry bot. Never mind. We don't have a constructor or drillers. I was forgetting that that's the bot total, not a specific type of bot. So that's why we have the one engineer doing all the work. Which means we need to start mining, and we need a processing plant in order to be able to set up processing metals, because we're going to run short of metal here pretty soon. Because I committed some extra metal in order to get that other power collector up, because I'm concerned about ensuring that we have power throughout the night whenever we're operating. Because this is a bad planet to lose power on. Whoops, uh-oh, hit the wrong button here. I was tabbing out, looking at something, and then that makes it go a little nuts. All right, our one and only engineer has a job. You know what? Here, let's prioritize the canteen. Or, well, hopefully he'll realize to prioritize that. Everyone's getting thirsty. Looks like all the bioplastics are in place. Yeah, power was getting low, but here comes the sun. Okay, let's see, where's he going to? Going to mine. Ugh, I was hoping he was going to go the airlock. Oh well. So he'll put the mine up first. It's rough being the only engineer. Alright, the engineer is the MVP. Everybody needs... Oh, we need water! Why are you doing the table first? It's like, let me do everything except the most vital stuff first. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't do the television before doing the water fountain. Okay, everyone's priorities should change now that the fountain is up. We should be making a beeline for that fountain. Whoops. Meteorites say hello. Please don't hit my base. I'm just getting started. Have mercy on me, meteorites. Oh yeah, and now we're getting tired, and we could use some beds. Now, if RNG really hates me, the beds will get made, everyone will go to sleep, and then a meteorite will hit the dorm and kill everyone. And that'll be game over. I've actually had that happen where it's like a full birthing compartment and it gets hit by a meteorite and all these colonists die simultaneously. It's like, no! I'm probably making things a little harder on myself by making the processing plant large, but I'm trying to avoid having to recycle it right away when we immediately outgrow it. If you're thirsty, there's a water fountain right behind you. Everyone else is asleep. There are beds that are available. Yeah, go ahead, drink, and go get some rest. Oh, but you know what? Before I make a processing plant that size, I need to think about a biodome. You know what? I'm not going to worry about making them too big initially, because we might end up recycling all of this stuff later. Whoops, there goes the TV. I'll have to put it back up. Need some kind of entertainment on this crazy planet. Alright, so the carrier-bot can stage the construction sites. Good, I'm glad to see that I did get the 2 power collectors. As you can see there, it makes a difference. We're able to fill up a couple of those things while the sun was up. So I guess that'll be our ratio. So 2 power collectors for every solar collector. I want to kind of like shim this away in order to be able to create more space to expand the base. Through a little Planetbase trickery, I can actually trim this stuff down. Well, depending on how high it is. There are limits as to what you can grind down, but I have a feeling I might be able to get most of that. So let's see. So if I tell Planetbase, you know, I was thinking about building something here, and then it lets me start to cut into it. And I try to get it as much under as I can in order to cut into these areas. It's gonna frustrate them because they're like, oh, you want to build? Here, let me bring stuff. I'm like, nope, just kidding. It's like, but you were gonna build there. I was like, no, I was just pretending. So I just lie to Planetbase and say, yeah, I was going to build like right here and shim this thing down here for me. And it's a very gradual process, but eventually you can cut this stuff away. Now, here's the caveat. Once you save the game and reload it, all this stuff comes back unless something is built on that spot. So that's the trick. If you start doing this, you have to finish it before you save your game and log out. Otherwise, it'll be there again, and all of this would be for naught. And you have to figure out which structures are going to be close enough that it will allow you to cut through stuff, and which ones it's not going to let you do. So here I'm just kind of goofing off with Planetbase and like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. Just cut this stuff away from me. Promise, I'm planning on building right here. And so it's like death by 1,000 cuts here as I slowly carve this away. Okay, let's look again. What's our crew complement? It looks like we have a single botanist. So as a result, let's see, tomato, wheat. Lettuce and radish. There we go. Yeah, that's not going to net us very many starches for bioplastics, but it'll at least get us started with food production. Oh, and then nothing would be complete unless we had, whoops, the meal maker. There we go. Now, the good thing is that there's no time limit on this challenge. Getting to the 300 colonists it's going to take some time. This will probably be at least a few hours worth in order to get through this particular challenge. First, we have to get the colony started. And in this case, I'm thinking, I need to get my processing plant up. It would be great if we can get a landing pad, start recruiting more personnel. In particular, we'll need workers and engineers. Workers to initially get the mine started, but then engineers to make drill bots so that the workers can then shift to running a processing plant. And then, of course, we'll have to be able to make our own spare parts in order to keep the solar panel going. And we're going to need additional solar panels, and I'm going to try to keep up the ratio of 2 power collectors to each solar panel so that we're making the best use of the power that's available to us when the sun is up. All right, let's see. Trying to think of what I could use to kind of cut through all of this nonsense. The bad thing is that I might have to, in order to really get into this thing and dig into it. Oh, you know what? That's right. There is one structure in particular that can help. A mine. I'll show you how mines can work. The nice thing is that the mine can be placed inside like this, and let's see if it'll let me. Some of these ones that have longer connectors, okay, it feels that the mine is still too far deep in there, but I could still connect it with another mine if I wanted to. Now we have to watch out and keep the engineer from actually building this stuff. Trying to get something to connect through here in order to cut this. There we go. Oh, yoink! And this is how the mine is a big help. So it's like, no, we're not actually building that mine. That's just there to help us do bad stuff like this. The nice thing about the water tower is it has that nice connector that goes along the surface, which is nice and flat, and so it helps with cutting through and making room. Whoops, it's considered too deep here in order to make the connection. Okay, I want to make sure they don't actually build this structure. Because I see the engineer coming, I'm like, no, 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 no. We're just pretending. We're just pretending. Oh, I had it. There we go. In order to get the structures to make connections, they have to themselves be connected, even though I'm not planning on actually building them. There we go. The robots are very efficient. They're like, you want to build here? I'm like, no, not really. It's just kind of a construction site, a little work in progress, you know. Now I need for them to move this metal out of the way. Unfortunately, without another item to build, they won't move it. So here, let's give them another pretend construction just so that they can move the metal away from here. I'm not actually going to build this, but they don't know that. Great, they're going to grab the metal from here instead of moving this stuff. There's metal all over the surface. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe we can encourage them to move it by actually putting up something we're going to make. In this case, the processing plant. So we do need this, as we have ore coming in and bioplastics, well, in this case, starches are become available for bioplastic production. we'll need to have some place to process them, and the processing plant will be that place. Also, it's once we have enough metal, we should be able to, in fact, we might even have enough here. I have to wait and see. We'll put the plant up, get it operational. I think we're just a little bit short in order to put up a landing pad. I think we need to process some ore. So here, let's go ahead and speed things up. In fact, while they're doing that, there we go. We can utilize that in order to stomp it flat. Okay, so we need one metal processor. And that will allow us to begin processing ore. And it looks like I was right. I am just barely short. Since a landing pad will require 4 to put up and 1 to connect, and we have 5, but we need to have 1 metal in order to put up the processor. It leaves us 1 short for putting that landing pad up. So the very first metal ingot that gets processed and the processing plant will allow us to finish and connect our landing pad. And let's see. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and locate the landing pad way out here. It has been a while on this challenge. I don't remember whether or not we can be attacked by visitors. So I'm not really sure if hostile visitors are enabled for this challenge. That would suck if they are. Because I noticed that all the structures are enabled. So that means that we can probably build weapons, which means we can recruit guards, which means we could potentially be attacked. I'm not going to bother with recruiting any guards or building weapons, so my defense here for the base will be that if we see hostile visitors come off of a ship, we lock the airlock and they asphyxiate on the surface, hopefully. Okay, the metal processor is up. So now we need to see about getting the ore dragged inside and stuffed into this thing. It's got room for 3 of them. So that's the carrybot's next job. Alright, so we're getting started with that metal processing. So here, we'll go ahead and we'll speed things up. Now I'm curious to see how our colonists judge our colony. Apparently it's considered decent. Everybody's getting fed, there's no problems with power shortages. There's a lot of work to do and there aren't very many people, so... It'd be nice if we had more bots, but the only way we're going to be able to get them, since we're outside of the normal trade routes, is to make them. So we need to recruit more engineers, more workers, and that way we can start making some drill bots, and they'll take over for the workers so they don't have to deal with the mines. Because that's my concern, is the mine is a source of injuries traumatic injuries that have to be dealt with medical supplies. And currently, we can't produce any medical supplies. Okay, good. The landing pad is finished. And yep, we can recruit guards, so I'm going to assume that we could be attacked. Whoops. Let's see, what did we get first? A biologist. Oh, good. That's exactly what I wanted to recruit. So, our single biologist is having trouble keeping up with the pads that we have. So we need some help, and I'm thinking we could use another. Yeah, I slowed things down when the ship landed because I want to verify that that's nobody hostile. It's probably unusual that anyone would attack us this early, but I've seen strange things happen in Planetbase. Sometimes RNG just hates me. Speaking of RNG, meteorites. This is like a constant source of worry as these things come down all over the place. I'm like, please don't hit my colony. I have no defenses. I can't recover from massive personnel losses. You know, if it bullseyes the dorm while everybody's sleeping, we're gonna have a bad day. Okay. Another biologist, I hope. Oh, another 2. Excellent. All right. So now we're going to change our landing permissions. Now that we have the biologists that we need workers and engineers. Well, we'll skew towards, we'll go 50-50. Because that's what we need next. Now we won't have any trouble keeping up with everything. In fact, I'm kind of tempted to recycle this biodome and go for a bigger one. It's going to be a matter of processing up metal and bioplastics for that. But now that metal processing is picking up, let's see about processing the starch that we have. Now we will lose 1 metal and 1 bioplastic recycling all this stuff, but by and large, it'll probably be a better deal for us. Let's see, there we go. And since I carved out a little space here, heck, I could connect it directly to the processing plant when the time comes. Okay, so we should be able to stage what we have and get it started. We'll be short on metal for a bit. It's going to take a while for the workers that we have to be able to mine enough ore and process it into metal. But hopefully we will have some more colony ships that come in and make it easier. Also, since we have more biologists, I'm hoping that means, yes, our status went up to excellent. So there's absolutely no problems with food or water. Everybody could be nice and happy. Oh, speaking of being nice and happy, there's one other thing. Probably do want to set up a water tank. And we'll make that a priority before the new biodome goes online. Now, I don't know what the water levels look like here on this planet. My guess is that they fluctuate up and down based on day and night cycles, just like with other worlds that we've landed on. And the idea here is that the water tower will give us a reserve so that when water levels drop, say during periods of darkness where it gets nice and cold, we still have water to be able to get by for our various different oxygen generation, taking care of plants, water for colonists to drink, so that because if any one of those areas suffers, then bad things happen. So it gives us a nice little buffer and a heads up, because we'll get a little sound effect where it's like, hey, wait a minute, we're drawing from our reserves, we're not producing enough water to keep up with demand, and it's a little heads up to let us know that there's an issue. And it gives us time to respond to things before they become critical by having that buffer. So I'll go ahead and prioritize the construction of that first, and we'll have that water tank in place before the new biodome is completed. Now, while these guys are busy, and whoops, oh, here comes another ship. Looks like a worker and engineers. Excellent. Okay, since we have the engineers that we need, everything else should be a worker at this point. Because the engineers are not going to have that much to do until the robotics big gets constructed. But we'll need to put up the biodome first. I want to make sure we don't have any food shortage issues as we expand. That's been a mistake that I made in the past, where it was like, go, 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 get more people, and then all of a sudden, oh no, food shortage, oh no, we don't have enough water. So I've learned that lesson. So I'm expanding the essential services first, and then we'll deal with having more people later. Yeah, right now we have some idle colonists. They're like, well, what do I do? Like, the medic has no medical bay, no lab to work in. Okay, well, while we're doing this, again, I can be trying to shim down this thing. Come on, let me make a connection. Well, we'll use our water tower tool. Oh, come on. All right, well then, we'll use the mine. And then use the water tower to connect to it. There we go. It still works pretty good. Then I can say, no, maybe I want to have the water tower over here. And it's like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, for sure, for sure. Or maybe I'd prefer it over here. And it's like, wait a minute, Joe, I'm on to you. You're just messing with me. It's like, yeah, maybe just a little bit. With Planetbase, it seems to be a combination of distance and height of the material that you want to cut through that seems to determine whether it allows you to make a connection. I don't know exactly what the ratio is, but a little trial and error, and you can get it to cut through things, you know, and even if it's just shimming it off just a little, sometimes that little is just enough to get you to the point where you can make a direct connection and then finally cut through something. Let's see here. Use the landing pad. Oh, yeah, but it's not big enough. All right, how about the starport? Come on. Okay, hopefully these are workers. Excellent, these are workers. All right, we're going to go ahead and shut the landing pad down. Until we're able to process some metal to expand our services, we probably don't need any more colonists. We have the one processing plant, which is keeping up with the one mine. And before expanding any further, I'd like to, like I said, get this, my current expansions completed. On the plus side, because all the materials are tied up, that means that I'm free to go around and be a menace here with my pretend constructions in order to cut down this stuff. And they don't have the materials to come and immediately try and build something. There we go. The airlock is a very useful tool for cutting things down to size. It must make the Planeteers crazy. Because basically every time I do something, it basically generates a work ticket of take materials here to this location, and then it's like, cancel that. All right, take it to this location, cancel that, and now, hopefully in Planetbase 2, which is due to come out, I saw they added things like prospecting and some other interesting things. I would actually like to have it to where it's like, okay, you could designate an area to say, we're going to go ahead and flatten this area and just spend resources in order to do it instead of having to do this hokey pokey with, I'm going to build here, honest this time, you know. It's like Lucy with the football, if you've ever read the Peanuts comics. It's like, I promise I won't pull the football away this time. All right, now let's pull out the starport. Come on. Oh, yeah, it's gonna do it. Bloop! And stomp flat. All right. Stomp and all gone. Well, except for this. Let's see. To find the right thing. There we go. And finally get rid of that. Okay, great. See, now with that knocked out, I have all this area opened up, and And if I can take something out that large, then all these little hills are nothing. Now, something like this, too tall. I wouldn't be able to cut through that, but any of these smaller ones, we can definitely modify in order to make the landscape more to our liking. Oh, good, the water tower is about to go up. Oh, I was just about to say, fortunately, we hadn't had any injuries so far, but I see I am wrong. So we have had a traumatic injury. We need to see about setting up a medical bay. Medical sick bays are dead-end structures. They have no outlets, so I'll go ahead and put it over here. Since we also have another dead-end structure, which is the dorm, which can't have any outlets. And we'll go ahead and prioritize this structure. This will need to go up before we put up the biodome. Good. And the carry bot coming out the airlock with the bioplastic immediately is going to take that to the sick bay. That way we can get our worker healed up and back to work in order to facilitate processing the metal that we'll need in order to put up the new biodome. Oh, of course, but that also means that, see, I'm planning on recycling that, shoot. Is there someplace else I can put that? Well, not at the moment. I'm planning on recycling this biodome, but then that means I'll have to recycle the sickbay too. Oh well. We'll just have to deal with it. Yeah, while injured, this worker can't perform any work. Actually, you know what? Maybe I could keep this other sickbay, other biodome, and it could be used for producing medical plants, which then would feed a lab that would make medical supplies. Okay, well, that will work. Then I'm not wasting any materials with recycling. So we'll have to figure out where a lab will go here in the near future. But so for now, we'll leave the plants that are there. We'll add more to this other biodome, and eventually these will get switched over and become exclusively medicinal plants. And I know exactly which one we will switch out first. So we only have one of these pads, which is providing us with starch. So we'll recycle that one. We'll change that to medicinal, put in a couple of starch pads here. That way we're feeding the processing plant so we can make more bioplastics faster than we are currently able to. And we can get started with making medicinal plants, which can then be made into medical supplies when the time comes. Oh no, see, there's another traumatic injury. This is getting to be a problem. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and fire up the landing pad. Until such time as we can get this sickbay online, what we may have to do is just keep getting more workers. The problem is that each worker that gets traumatically injured is going to consume one of the medical supplies that we have. We only have a total of 5. And then it becomes a real issue because we don't have a plant to, or a lab in order to create new medical supplies, and we don't have a medicinal pad in order to make the medicinal plants. And for each injury, I believe it does affect us. Yeah, see, we're still considered good, but it's going down because workers have needs that are not being met. So it would help if we get a couple more workers to land. That'll give us more of a buffer so that we can continue to get what we need out of the mine, because we need to be able to produce more metal to finish the biodome. Okay, we're pending one metal to complete the sick bay, and it looks like we're coming up on that. See, we're sliding down to decent here. Until these workers get healed, it makes our colony look bad that we're not able to meet their needs. And it makes it less likely that more suckers will want to come down to this planet. It's like, come on down, don't worry. It'll be much safer for you than it was for those other people. Ah, here we go. Okay, please don't be anybody hostile. One worker? Well, I guess you'll have to do. Okay, our MVP here on the metal processor is just about to give us what we need to complete that sick bay. And then the carry bot should be able to go up there and grab it and make the score. And then we have plenty of engineers to assemble. Okay, the metal is completed. Go grab the metal carry bot. Or, well, looks like a human's gonna grab it. Alright, give the bot a break. Hopefully that's an engineer that grabbed it. Can't tell. No, it's a biologist. Because I guess we don't have enough biology work in order to keep you busy. Here, we'll speed up time just a little bit, since all we're doing is waiting. Alright, now we need an engineer to be dispatched in order to put the sickbay together. And then the last thing is to put together a biobed so that we can treat personnel. So here, we'll put in a bed here. Of course, we're out of bioplastics, so we'll need this bioplastics processor to generate what we need in order to put that bed together. Once the bed is up, then we can begin treating patients. Because of course they can't be treated in the bed in the dorm. No, it's got to be the bed in the sick bay. Details. Okay guys, don't stop. Take my one piece of starch here and make me some bioplastic. Alright, good, some more workers. Again, let's go ahead and shut the pad off in order to get things up and running. Okay, the biobed is up, the first patient is in. Let's grab some medical supplies and get to it. Power storage is low and the sun is coming up. And yeah, because that landing pad consumes a lot of power. But now that it's shut down, we should be able to recharge with a little sunlight and be good to go into the night. Hopefully. Although that's probably next on the to-do list, is need to think about another solar panel and some more power collectors as the base is expanding. Oh no, we got more injuries. Alright, well, then the next thing we need is a medical cabinet. Of course, we have no starch at the moment. I don't want to take the only entertainment the base has away. It's gonna be a little while before the base gets on its feet. But looking at the time, I'm thinking that this is probably a good spot to end this video here. So join me next time here on Joe Superfantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where we'll have more fun in Planetbase as we go through the Dark Moon Challenge, as we try to recruit 300, well, I was going to say suckers, but valued colonists to come out to our planet and work under horrible conditions that are obviously very dangerous. Courtesy of all of our meteorite buddies. Although, looks like we're getting enough stuff here, it's probably time to expand the processing plant. So we have that to look forward to next time, along with putting up the new biodome. Woo, and seeing whether or not we survive all these meteorites coming down. It should be exciting. So join me next time for more fun, and we'll see. We'll see how far we get in this challenge and how long it takes. See you next time.